Everybody, please welcome NixSounds to the stream.
What's up?
Or if you know her as Krista. Where's my Krista?
Krista. Oh, I wish I'd turned on my button for that. Missed opportunity.
Both of us with our loopers.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
How are you? What are you doing today? What's going on in your life today? How's it going?
What am I doing? I don't even know. Well, to be honest, I'm just trying to relax after this heavy work week that I had. And I did some yoga for longer than I thought I should have. And I sat there and meditated, and then I ate some food and had lots of coffee. And now I'm here.
Your day sounds
with
so
you guys.
Nice. That sounds that needs to be my day tomorrow. Legitimately. That sounds really lovely. And everybody's saying hi to you. So if you're not familiar with NixSounds, please, y'all, there is a beautiful dynamic follow button on your screen. You don't even have to navigate away. I know, right?
I don't know how to do any of that shit.
Listen, it took me a second.
Talent.
What does that say?
It says Nick Sound Aquagasm because I auto-filled an emote, okay? Mind your business. It's appropriate.
You guys know Aqua, right?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Aqua is a hoot.
What a sweet soul. That one.
Pitch says, my favorite yoga move is downward facing couch potato. I have to agree lately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I did a lot of that this morning too.
Yeah. Yep. I want to also thank you, Nix, for the beautiful beanies. I love them.
Oh my God, they look so good on you guys.
Honestly,
they look so good.
And I was expecting them Wednesday, so when they came a little early, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. We can rep the brand. I love them. They're good quality too. Do you have them available anywhere yet to promo to people?
Yeah. You guys can go to NixSoundsOfficial.com and they should be available there, I think. I'm pretty sure they are.
So if you do command chat, live. That is actually in the chat command today. So if you do command chat.
What?
I know.
Look at you go. Oh my God.
Professional.
You guys are so pro. Wow. I need a trasha in the background.
I mean, you do, but I also did absolutely none of that. That was all Erin.
Sometimes it's her though. Today it happened to be me.
Today it was all her.
But honestly, everybody needs a co-host. It's been a game changer for me.
Josh.
And
I love Josh.
So Joshua, okay, so this is your fault then. No, I'm kidding. Joshua followed me off stream, and I was like, who is this? Hello? And then he popped in to say hi. So that's awesome. Thank you again, Josh. That's very kind of you. So to everybody in my channel, right meow, Krista, if you wouldn't mind, try to give an overview of your content, please, to the new
my content.
And that can mean anything because you're like me in the way that you're a musician as well as a streamer. So whatever you would like to tell them about, just the overall, whether it's Twitch, whether it could be everything, honestly. So it's up to you.
Okay. Well, everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Krista, also known as Krista. And I am a singer-songwriter from Los Angeles, California. I am in a cool rock band named Ed and Amelia. So if you like things like Paramore or Flyleaf, our other influences are like Deftones and Helmet, going back to the 90s grunge. My bandmate is a huge fan of Helmet and the Deftones, so that's where a lot of our rock stuff really comes out. And I've been streaming on Twitch for about a year, a little over a year now, probably, and it's been a fucking wild ride.
How
it's been
long?
So cool.
Yeah, I actually think that I was probably in some of your first streams, and I told you, and you were like, "No,
were
leave."
You?
Yeah, you were just sitting, playing to Paramore music, just you were just sitting there playing. guitar. I don't even think you were singing. I think you were just sitting there playing guitar.
I think I remember that.
To just
I think I
straight up
remember that.
Paramore music. And I was like, hi. You're like, no, leave.
That sounds about right.
Sounds like me. Well, this is why. Okay. So like when I was first starting to like even know what Twitch was,
Mm-hmm.
I was introduced to Twitch by my bandmate Dean, who also produces all of our music, all of our band music and all the stuff that's on Spotify for my solo album. And we're actually working on a single right now that we're going to be releasing very soon.
For Nix or Dead End?
For Nix.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice.
And also Dead End is going to be coming out with a new EP. Hi, Bean. So yeah, so we what was I saying? How did I get so I first discovered you because I was curious to see if there were any LGBTQ channels and like, you know, any singers and things like that. So you were one of the first, I think you were actually the first LGBTQ channel that I found.
Wow.
And so like, yeah. And so I would sit in your chat, like just like, you know, randomly just come in, say hi once in a while.
You did.
And then I think it was like one day, like you remembered my name and I was like, oh my God, she remembered me.
Yeah, because you dared me basically.
I remember that moment.
And I think that at the time, I could be wrong, but you had said like, I think I'm mainly doing production right now, but I'm going to be starting music, performance at the time. And you were like, my name's Krista. And I was like, there's sometimes, and maybe you've experienced this, sometimes somebody's in your chat and they lurk a lot, they're supporting you a lot, and your brain just kind of intuitively knows to pay attention to that person. And my brain just intuitively said, I think this person is like our people. And so for whatever reason, I don't know why, because there's no actual reason why. It's not like you were Chatty McChatterson or something, you know, like there was just something intuitively about the way you came around and started supporting us that I was like, this person seems important. And I think I'm going to prioritize lurking and, you know, supporting her back. So yeah, I didn't realize that I was like one of the first, maybe the first that you found.
Yes. It was like you. So, so it was like you, it was, who else did I find? I was watching Courtney because I knew Courtney through my bandmate.
Okay.
And then, who else was it? Carmela. I was following Carmela. Who else? There is a woman with kitties, and she's really funny, and she really likes Sarah Bareilles.
Claire Pix?
Claire Pix, yes. She was funny, too.
I think that she'd be very happy that somebody just described her that way, and I got it right.
Yeah, dude. She was cool. I really liked her. But yeah, dude, you were like one of the first. And so like when you came into the chat that one day, I was nervous, and I was like, holy shit. Because, you know, when you first start streaming, and even now I still get nervous.
Yeah.
Not as much, but like I was nervous. Like I would probably have a little bit too much to drink online, you know, when I was like, because I was nervous.
Yeah.
But eventually like the nerves calm down, you get more comfortable and you see yourself growing every time you stream and things like that. But like, yeah, I was hella nervous when you came in. I was like, no, Erin's here, get out.
I don't think you literally told me to leave, but you did. You may have said something along those lines.
Probably.
But you're like, I'm just practicing. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm like, okay. And I just lurked. I was just doing my thing. But that is amazing. And I again, like, there's no reason at all that I was just like, I'm going to remember your name. Sometimes my brain does that. But then sometimes there's people that come into the chat, and you probably have this happen too, where there's a couple different ways you could pronounce the name, and your brain cannot remember which way it is.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst at that.
Yeah. It's who is it that comes in? It's ethereal something. And I'm like, is it ethereal or ethereal? I don't know.
Oh, I call him Aether.
Is it the same person? Is it?
I think it might be.
Is it C? Is it? Ethereal C or something?
I think so.
That's funny. That's funny.
I call him Aether. I don't know why.
Oh, that's funny. But there's a couple people who popped into the chat probably to come see the friend on the stream, Krista. And so this
buddies.
I do a chat, 1 hour chat with a streamer friend every single Friday if possible. And but the other 98% of my channel is music. I play piano. You can't see it at the moment. It's right here. I play piano. I loop. I do originals and covers. I have a co-host, partner in crime, partner in life, Trisha.
Hi.
She has no camera on this scene though.
Don't. I'm back to being a hand.
She's back to being a hand for right now. So yeah, it can be confusing to come in when you're like, I thought this was a music channel, but I like to do a little bit of both. I went to school for radio, and I'd like to use that degree every once in a while. But the question I had actually before we started to digress, which I'm not mad about. Yes, the Trish hand. Hi, Phil. How long has Dead End Amelia been a band? I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, we have been a band for a very long time. Probably since I want to say 2000, 10 or 9, maybe.
Wow.
But we've been on and off active, just because of life.
Mm-hmm.
And Dean actually used to live here in Studio City, and that's where we would record and really get down on making music and things like that. And then he got married and he had kids, and then he had to move to Texas. So just life stuff happens in between. But we always he will be my songwriting partner forever. He's just my guy. He's one of those people. He's my person. He's my music person.
Aw, that's like the
we will
sweetest
always
thing
write music
ever.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I actually feel that way very much about Johnny and Phil in my band. Basically, if when things badly happen, if something happens to Elsie Banks for whatever reason and we're not in the same area anymore, I still with my whole heart think that a lot of us would songwrite together. Because it's just when you find people who actually like writing with you and that you actually like the people,
yes,
you never want to let them go. And I very much feel that, and I look forward to hearing new music from you guys. And I know you pop up in both of mine and Trish's release radars and the not release radar but Discover Weekly.
I have a whole
regularly
Dead and Amelia radio that Spotify curated for me that I tweeted about a while back. Still one of my go-to playlists.
Yes.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I did see that on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter that often. I barely know how to use any of the social medias. But yeah, I did see that tweet that you did, and I was like, oh, so sweet, so cool.
I think
I'm glad you guys like the bands.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that our bands sound nothing alike, but it's so ironic that a lot of our inspirations, and Phil's in the chat right now, a lot of his inspiration comes from 90s grunge and Chris Cornell's projects. And so, but our music sounds nothing alike, actually. Yours, I think Deftones really nails it. When you said that, I'm like, oh, okay. The light bulb went on in my head. I'm like, okay, I absolutely hear it. It's like if literally... I don't think you sound that much like Hayley Williams. I think you sound like a combination of Avril and Hayley. That's how I hear your voice.
That's huge, dude.
I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass serious. But it's like
what?
It's like if Avril and Hayley had a baby, that's who's singing on top of some a little extra melodic Deftones. Because I think that your music's a little bit more melodic than Deftones.
It's a bit.
But yeah, that's really interesting because our inspirations come from kind of the same eras. You'd think our music sounds the same, and it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're kind of I feel like we're kind of the same, around the same age. Ish. I am
33, and I'm very happy to say that because then people go, "Oh my God, I thought you were 23." So. I think Beta told me how old you are. I will not dox your age unless you do it yourself. But I legitimately thought you were 23. And that's the truth. That's actually the truth. I thought that.
I'm a young 23 then.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. 'Cause I just because I'm comfortable saying my age doesn't mean everybody else is, you know.
I don't mind, but like, you know, honestly, I was like really cool with it, but this year it was like, okay, this year hurts.
You sound like Jen.
This year I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
I might feel that way in the upcoming years. Jen is being that way. It's not really what I mean. Jen is now closer to 40 than 30, and it's starting to be like, why? No, I don't want to say it out loud. I might feel that way when it gets to be that time. I have a couple more years.
Hurts.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to start kind of again, like to anybody who's new here, who's coming to see Krista, or who's just here for the first time today. These chats are really for, you know, me to feature streamers I love, humans I love, and people I believe in and are talented. But I also kind of want to dig in on mental health and how streaming or because we all have to be content creators, right? Like this is actually a thing that's happening right now, and I don't know how up on like TikTok or Reels that you are, but
We're adults, Erin.
meaning we're not up on TikToks. That's what she means.
Yes, that's what I mean.
But like mental health in
True.
regards to streaming and content creation and what it means to you. So I would love to know, starting out, let's start out positively. How do you feel streaming has affected you positively with your mental health?
Oh, with my mental health specifically.
I mean, or your physical health, both. I don't. Yeah.
Well, in regards to like, how do I say this?
Just say it. Let
I
it
think
out.
I think that streaming has really taught me to be vulnerable, and it has opened the doors to so many different friendships and different types of people and talent, and some good people and some not so good people. But yeah, I think the one thing is that it's definitely made me be okay with not being in control, if that makes sense, because things go wrong all the time,
Literally,
as you know, as a streamer. And that, for somebody who just to give you a little bit of a background, my day job is a surgery technician, and that requires always being on top of your shit. Because if you are not on top of your stuff, somebody can lose. In this case, I work at an eye center, so someone can lose an eye, you know, because I'm not like doing the proper thing. So it's like, it's really stressful. And I have been someone who has sort of had this issue with control, and I'm sort of learning that now. And by streaming, like, you know, it's like anything could happen, and then you sort of just have to be willing to roll with the punches. You know what I mean? So it's like, mentally, I feel like it has made me a bit stronger in that way, and to not be afraid of, you know, just being who you are that day. Like if I feel like crying that day, I guess I will.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I mean, it's I don't think that it's been a terrible or negative experience, especially when like things like, you know, like emotions are heavy that day for me. And it just goes to show how kind people are, especially like, you know, within our communities and the people that find us and who are now actually like our friends, not just like in real life, or not just like locally, but like all over the world. So it's been mentally, it's been up and down, but it has also been a very positive growing experience for me.
That's actually one of the most intricate answers I think I've gotten in all of my Friday chats, actually. And you nailed a lot of that right on the head. I agree with all of that. I feel all of that. I think that on top of, I wouldn't call, I feel like anybody who knows me IRL is about to like at me so hard right now. I wouldn't call myself a control freak, but I, I don't think anybody dislikes when things go wrong that you're actively trying to fix, you know? And
Right.
and like in your job's situation, that is like life or death sometimes. That is heavy.
It is.
That is
Yeah.
very,
It's
very
heavy.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
really
heavy.
heavy. I've never had a life or death job before. But I will say that my control issues, and you know, I worked in the wedding industry for 10 years prior to the pandemic. And so
Ugh,
for
that's a
me
lot.
it's also a hot fucking mess, but it's not life or death.
Mhm.
So like for me, if something goes wrong, I go, well, I didn't just fuck up somebody's bridal dance. Like there's always something I've experienced that is probably worse than my stream deck not working. And
Yeah.
I think unfortunately, and Trish has reminded me in the past, like that's not always healthy to do. It's not the healthiest way to cope. However, it's like a decade's worth of programming that I don't know. I don't know if it's harmful at this point. I don't know, because I don't freak out over particularly small issues. If I didn't fuck up somebody's bridal dance, or I don't know, it has to be pretty big. And by in the past, she means almost every day. Yeah, quite literally. Yeah, it's 10 years of programming, where I was emceeing, DJing, usually fronting a band. I was the whole personality of weddings for about 6 of the 10 years I worked for this company.
Wow.
And yeah, and that's a lot. And I made a lot of mistakes that I will never forget. You don't forget
Mhm.
when you introduce a father of the bride and you say the last name. It's not the last
Oh
name.
God.
It's not his last name. Nope. And he calls you out for it. It's like, God, Jesus Christ. You don't forget things like that. These are the things that still live rent free in my head. And so I can only imagine
Yeah.
that you're the same. When you make a mistake, it can literally cost somebody's their health. That's
Yeah.
that's way up there. So I feel like I connect so hard with that. Nobody's mentioned that because I don't think I've talked to anybody who has a high stakes job like that. So
Hmm.
so I applaud you for bringing that into the conversation, because that's big. The control,
Yeah.
unless you're a streamer, you don't understand like how many moving parts there are to this. Um
It's so much. There's
and
so much to do, so much to pay attention to,
yeah,
you know.
and you run more shit than I do on your stream. Like you run a loop or you run a DAW. You probably have pedals. My guess is there might be a keyboard somewhere. That's already more than what I run. Um, and it's stressful. It's stressful.com. Like today, my lights and my stream deck don't work for no fucking reason at all. And all you can do is just go, huh, all right, well,
Ah,
you know, it is what
yeah.
it is. And so it does help you
Yeah.
kind
It
of
does. Yeah, because
let
you learn
go.
to like let little things go, and you
Yeah.
know, tomorrow is a different day, or next stream is a different stream. So,
And
you
Phil
know.
is my personal tech person.
Hey Phil.
Not only is he like him and Kevin is our manager and producer and engineer of Elsie Binks, but Phil was the next person
Oh,
to
dope.
be an Elsie Binks. So he's like the next in line, like the next lineage of songwriting. And so there's just anybody in the band, we all stream first of all, so we all understand what all of this shit is. And so Phil was actually the first person to teach me how to use OBS.
Oh.
And even I was like, I don't even know what OBS is. What is that?
Yeah, what is it?
What is that? And so Phil is kind of everybody. It's just the joke when somebody has a tech problem, we just yell, Phil, like, where is he? So he's just it's terrible, but it's true. So Phil knows, yay, tech. It's very rare that I call you for tech issues anymore, Phil, to be fair. I think I've covered most of it. Usually why I'm texting Phil now is because I've bought something and I'm sending him the tech porn video of it. Basically, that's it. Just sums up all of your 2020 is answering all of our streaming questions. But yeah, and then the IRL friend thing. And it's hard because you are somebody we actually did get to talk to. And there's like, we haven't met you IRL, but I need to make IRT a thing, right? In real time. Like,
Yes.
we've spoken to you in real time, which makes me feel like I've met you in real life.
We rang in 2022 together.
Yeah. We had a New Year's together. Like,
We did have a New Year's.
like
That's special.
It's
Very
really special.
special.
And you stayed up. Did you stay up till your New Year's? I don't know. Don't remember.
Did I? I don't think I did. I probably
don't
just
remember.
passed out because I was celebrating with Tom and Courtney, and they're like on the other side of the world. So it was
Yeah.
like I don't even know. They're 8 years. I mean, 8 years. Wow,
8 hours. 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah. So
They're
she
eight.
was.
They're 8 years away. They're
Yeah.
So they're 8 hours. So it was like I think it was like what time would that be? 1-ish? 12.
It
I
was
don't know.
probably
I can't
one-ish
do
because I
math.
know ours was first, and then we hit
Yeah.
Fenn's New Year's.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So that would have been around 1:00 our time.
Yeah.
Which would have been like what, 10 or 11 your time. So
And then we were like, "Are we waiting for the Pacific?" And you're like,
I'm
"No,
like, fuck no.
no."
I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Are we waiting for Pacific New Year's? No, I'm leaving. Good night. And we're like, yeah, good night. It was like 8 a.m. for Courtney, and she's still up partying. I'm like,
Courtney, yeah, she was partying with us. That was crazy.
she is also somebody I would love to have on a chat. She is a fucking hoot. I love her.
Oh, dude, she's cool. Yeah,
but
super
like,
cool. She's coming to see me in October.
I
She's
saw
staying with me
that.
for like 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
So hype.
So duo streams. Yeah. Yeah. Production meeting.
Absolutely.
Quickly. Production meeting.
Her voice will blow me out of the water. It'll just be her.
No,
It'll
you
just be her
guys.
the whole time.
You guys just have two very different styles. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all for you to say. Stop that. Stop. No. Bad.
No. I mean that in the best way. You know, like she is actually. I met her online. I started as I started watching her as a Twitch person in chat, and then we actually met in real life. I went to Ireland because my buddy Dean, who I was talking about earlier, he was working on an album across the seas with another one of our friends. I don't know if you guys know her. She used to stream a lot. God, why is her name blanking? Amel? Do you guys know Amel?
Yeah, Amel Rose.
Amel Rose, yeah. So he worked on her stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's so random that I actually know who that is.
Yeah.
There's a reason. It's random. I was going to do a raid train she was putting together, and then it didn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was like a baby or something. So
yeah, she had a baby because there was like a baby.
There was like a baby involved. So yeah, she was planning a raid train, and and I was going to be a part of it, and then it just didn't happen because life. So that's the reason I actually know who she is. That's awesome though.
Yeah, yeah. And Amel and I actually we're pretty good friends too. Well, aside from her having the baby and life and stuff like that, but we actually wrote a song together, which is pretty dope.
That is dope. Wait, is it out
and
there?
She's it's not out or recorded, but like sometimes if I go into her stream, I'll be like, Amel, sing the song we wrote on Discord together.
That's really
it's
cute.
So good. Yeah, it's a good song.
Courtney is love. Yes, Josh. Yeah, she is goth love.
Yeah, she's cool. So we met in real life. Courtney and we hung out, and she's one of my best friends now, which is cool. Like I talk to her almost every day.
And that's, I mean, we can say the same thing. Like Beta and Fen have become our good morning GIF people. You have your good morning people. That they have become, our group chat has become the good morning GIFs, basically.
Yes. The foos.
Yeah, the food chat. And so, but it's only possible because of streaming for us. Like, of course I have a couple best friends, like most people do. You have a couple people here and there you went to college with, or you grew up with, whoever, whatever. But now it's like, wow, this whole world of, I'll call them, IRT. I'm gonna make it a thing. I'm gonna make it in real time. Like I because it's not real life. It's digital, but it's this weird relationship of I know somebody, even though I've never spoken to them outside of, you come into my chat, I go into yours. It's very strange.
Yeah.
It's a very strange content creation. What is the word I'm looking for? Is it parasocial relationship? I think so. It's when it's like one-sided, but it's also this two-sided version of a parasocial relationship. Yeah, it's totally weird to see two streamers in the same room. What's funny is that people who are traveling and doing gigs across the country, and they stop and like plan duo streams. Like Fen did the stream with Carmela, and she was, going there.
That was cool.
But like, nobody's gonna come to Michigan on purpose. Like, you don't pass through Michigan. We're just like hanging out above everybody else. So I would hope that if somebody was passing through, I'd be like, hi, come visit me. Nobody comes here. But yeah. And so, all of these things are very, very positive. Do you feel like there are any negative things that have come from streaming? Like, and this could be with anything, mental health, like physical. I know I can name some, but I'm curious to see if you have been negatively affected by streaming at all.
Of course.
Of course. And how? Share with the class.
I think when you have these pretty awesome experiences, of course, you're going to also get some pretty dark experiences. There's lots of drama behind the scenes and things like that I've learned to kind of not indulge in, which is very hard. It's very hard to do, especially
boundaries is something.
Yes.
Yes.
And boundaries. Yes. You know who really like solidified boundaries for me was Kiger.
Yes. That's my boundary person too.
Shut up.
No.
I love Kiger.
How dare. No, I love Kiger too.
I fucking love her so much, dude. Like anytime I have a question about something or whatever, like I'll just sit there and I'll talk to her and she just puts things so well. Mm-hmm. Which is something that I could actually say about you too, because I feel like when I come into your streams and you're talking about like a topic or something like that, you just explain yourself so well, and I feel like you connect so well to your audience and whoever's watching. That I don't know, maybe it's your years of going to school for radio or being an MC or things like that, but it's like it's definitely there, and you have this like presence, which is awesome. But yeah, Kiger has taught me about boundaries and things like that. And
yeah, and thank you for the kind words. I was trying not to interrupt you, but thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, Kiger. I actually mentioned Kiger today because she is somebody that Cat Strike popped in, who is a fellow endo warrior as well. She has endometriosis, and her journey has been very tumultuous with it. Very, very wild journey with endo. And last year I went like on a hunt on Twitter looking for other streamers with endometriosis. And so I put this whole endo chat together last March and did this show with like 4 different streamers. And then I have my spoon counter from the lovely Damonarchy. And so like it comes up a lot. And that's kind of the point, of having these hard conversations. And it's Fen, stop, how dare. And so anyway, Kat popped in and we were talking about how important it is to talk about the hard stuff. You have to at some point, and I think it probably is my experience in radio, and also you only get one shot at somebody's wedding. And if you fuck it up, you just fucked up somebody's wedding. And so I choose my words very carefully, very carefully. It's something that has stuck with me for a lot. I don't know if it's ever going to go away, but it's something that's important to talk about, your own struggles, because somebody's going to connect with you about it. And Kiger, for a long time I couldn't talk about it because Kiger hadn't come out about it, but Kiger connected with me on a very personal level because I was doing a bunch of endo awareness, and she she slid into the DMs and said, hey, I'm dealing with some real serious shit. And I think endo is a part of it. And you've given me words, you've given me vocabulary, you've given me some information here that is really helpful. And can I pick your brain? And blah, 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 blah. And from there came, you know, me really following her on socials. She's so incredibly active on Instagram, and the boundary thing is so incredibly important to her. So she's a music therapist. So I feel like mentally she's got this shit on lock.
She got this shit on lock. Absolutely. Which is why she's my go-to with everything.
And everybody, nobody at me. Okay. But she was my mentor in the collective. And I was just floored. When I saw the first co-op announced and I saw all the people and that she was my mentor in the collective, I about pooped myself and I DM'd her. I said, oh my God, oh my God, I'm so excited. I don't know if she had anything to do with it. Cool. Like, I don't know if it was pure chance or what. But so it's like this whole other level of, I wouldn't say leaning on her, but when it comes to mental health and boundaries, she is somebody I like hear in my head. Like,
for sure.
I will message her and be like, I want you to know that I woke up feeling ill today and you're the person who told me that I needed to take the day off, just so you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so the boundaries thing is huge, and
it's big. It's so big, and it's so important for us as streamers to set those boundaries.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's hard because some days you mentioned this in the positive conversation we were having, the positive mental health, but how some days you come to the stream table, you know, and you're like, I'm not okay. And I'm going to play sad girl songs today. And that's it. You know, I'm in a mood and I still want to be here because I love all y'all, but I need the vibes more than y'all need the vibes right now.
Exactly.
And so it really teaches you. And also the other thing is, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but some days I really don't want to be told what songs to play. And everybody knows this. I'm not telling anybody in my chat this that you don't already know. There are some days where you don't feel like being a monkey. And those are the days where I close my queue and tell everybody I picked some songs because this is what I want to do today. And that's a boundary that took me a long time. I don't know if you ever do that. Do you ever just close the queue and choose your own songs?
I would say that I'm not like, I don't get a lot of songs put in the queue anyway. Fair because enough. I'll be quite honest with you guys. I don't really pay attention to I try to pay attention to the chat. I try to pay attention to the streamer's song list. I really do. Okay. But there's just like so much going on, and I want to be like active with, you know, I want to be true to what I'm doing. I want to enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because the minute that it turns into something that I feel like I have to do something is a moment that I will be shut off from this completely. You know, so I know that, like, actually, I guess sometimes I won't even turn it on, to be honest. I most of the time I kind of just do my own thing.
That's
which is probably why people don't really put songs on the song list.
That actually makes sense. I never noticed that about you, actually. So that but I don't think that you do a bad job of not looking at chat. I know a lot of people that legitimately don't. They're not very good at keeping up with their chat, but I wouldn't put you in that category, to be honest with you.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe my chat, they're just like trolling me.
I think that they're trolling you.
They're just needy. They're needy like me.
I just think they're trolling you because trolly people get trolly users in their chat, and you fucking know it.
100%. 100%.
Like, I'm not the trolliest person, so I actually don't. People know that people are good at judging where my sense of humor where I'll get it. But some people will make like a sports joke, and I'm like, what? What?
Yeah.
What are you saying? What? But also, people know me well enough to know that I take it. I'll agree with one thing you said, and that's I take the music part really seriously. Like I just want to do the music justice. And so if people know, I don't think there's any person in this chat who would do this because they know that I'd be pissed off. Is I've seen people go into chat and be like, "You're muted," and then people will do it and they're not muted. Like they'll continue on and people will literally be like, "You're muted," or like, "You're fucked up," or whatever the audio issue is. And I see this happen every once in a while, and I'm the one in the chat going, "They're fucking with you," because the person's panicking. I just saw it happen the other day, and the streamer's panicking, and it's like, this is not cool. Like, but your sense of humor, you'd be like, "Fuck you, I know everything's working." Like, and that's how I am too. That's how I am too. If somebody comes in and is like, "I need to hear you more," I'm like, "Fuck you, I know what my levels are." Like, so yeah,
dude.
That's actually honestly part of boundaries too, you know. Yeah, it is, right, creative minds? It's very mean. Like it's exactly, if you comment on a sound, it's because if something's legitimately wrong, there are people that I trust that actually would say something, and they are other streamers. If you came to my stream and was like, "Hey, I think something's maybe going wrong," I'd be like, "Really? Like, okay. I mean, I trust you. Like, refresh your shit first, but I trust you, you know?"
Refresh your shit first, but I trust you.
Yeah, for the most part. I actually did that to Johnny, my band member Johnny. He also is a streamer. I thought his audio was broken as fuck one day, and I opened up a bunch of different I opened up at least 3 different devices, opened it all up. It all sounded the same, and I'm putting it in the chat, and Jen's modding for him, and she's like, "I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong." I'm like, "Jen, I have like a bunch of different devices open," and he doesn't see that there's anything wrong either. And then like just it all stopped doing what it was doing. It just sounded like he was like in an echo chamber, and he's like, "I don't have reverb on right now," and I'm like, "You do? What's wrong?" Like, I felt like such an ass. All of my devices did the same thing at the same time, which was even crazier.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, but I've had, because everybody has different setups, and I've actually been meaning to pick your brain about your setup. But like, yeah, it's hard to tell, when people are being serious and when they're trolling, and I guess it kind of just depends on your mood.
Yeah.
Also, if you're gonna actually like indulge in it or just get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's sad to say that kind of just depends on what you're feeling that day, and I don't know. I think I have to probably get better at sort of trying to read people on chat, but it's so hard because it's just a chat, and you just know them from like the few things that they're saying and things like that. But like, yes, boundaries, super important. I'm very bad at I think right now I'm trying to work on like just cutting myself off when I know I should just cut myself off, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The digital space is easy to get sucked into.
Yes.
And especially when you're making friends and you legitimately want to be in this stream, and you're like, "Okay, but I know that I need to get up in the morning," or something, whatever the thing is,
Yeah.
or I need the mental space. I need to just go turn on some stupid TV show to let go of all of this shit in my head. But you just legitimately want to be in the stream. Like it's hard. It's hard to turn off, especially when you're trying to make it part of your income too. That's another like part of it that it's hard to talk about, because we're trying to create these safe, fun spaces where we're all kind of, essentially like unlicensed music therapists, basically. Like it's like without the therapy part, you know what I mean? Like that's all we're sitting here trying to do is share our shit and make people feel good. But it's hard to turn off that feeling of like, am I doing it good enough? Is my setup good enough? What else do I need to add? What, and what's funny is my setup is literally more simple than yours. You'd think that it's not. I think that you think it is, but it's not.
Yeah, I feel like yours is like
no
super like pro and you know
No.
exactly what you're doing, where I'm just like, what? Where's the problem?
Well, okay, but here's the thing: is I only run a looper and a keyboard. That's it. That's it. That's the tweak.
Looping is so hard.
Yes.
Dude, you are so good at looping.
Oh,
I
thanks.
cannot. Like when I did the Mogul House thing, I did a Mogul House show with the Closure Club a while back, and I got rid of my looper and my guitar preamp because I didn't want to carry it all with me over there. So we made a digital version of my electric guitar on my DAW.
Oh.
So all I had to do was just plug it into my DAW.
Okay.
Which is what that setup was. But since then, which happened, I think it happened like months ago, because I did start looping. I did start looping when I got it, like last year or something like that. And then when that show happened, I got rid of it. And then I just brought it back like the other day, and I was like, I don't know how to loop anymore. I forgot everything.
When I
literally forgot everything.
When I stopped by the other day,
I'm like, fuck, it's so good.
Well, when I stopped by the other day, you're like, hey, can you guys stay? Like, how do I even? What can you tell me how to overdub or something? I'm like, what is happening? Yeah, if you don't loop for a minute, there's like, even I just took a week off, and my brain was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I'll tell everybody a secret. I have had this looper since I think August of 2020, maybe September. No, probably September of 2020. And I only learned how to undo something like 3 months ago.
That's what I need. I need to learn how to undo
easy.
Dub I just did.
Oh, it's so easy. But here's the thing is that you can only, you know how like the first time through, it's just like one layer. And then when it's orange, you have the next layer. And then if you keep going, it's all the same orange layer. So if you fuck one of those up, all of the things in the orange layer go away. You only get to keep the first layer. The red layer. The original red layer stays, but if you do use the undo, it gets rid of everything in the orange layer. And I'm talking about one track. Y'all are getting a free looping lesson.
Hell yeah.
Loopers.
Hell yeah. This is what we're here for, guys. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to ask all these questions now. Now that I have you on a chat, on a VC, I'm here to ask you questions.
On a VC. I thought you were going to say VCR. I'm like, on a what? Ironically, I have a VCR sitting right here because I'm supposed to be putting all of my old VHS tapes onto digital, but I haven't done it.
Do you?
I do. My dad invested in a VCR. I was going to say VHS player. I mean, it is what it is. And it's sitting on my desk. I just haven't gotten to. It's a lot. You have to sit there and watch it in real time. You can't just like go.
Skip timestamps.
Analog is analog. So it has to render analog real time. We're all getting loopy. But yeah, that's why for me, I think using a DAW actually complicates it a lot. And I know that it causes a lot of stress for people. I know it's caused a lot of stress for Fen. I know it's caused a lot of stress for other people who are trying to loop outside of Ableton. It's one thing if you're looping in Ableton because that's also your looper. But I'm a big fan of buttons. I would rather use the hardware than I would the software. Software melts my brain sometimes.
I agree 100%. Also because like I don't know, I have a MacBook and that's what I run my DAW out of. So I have like two interfaces. I have my MacBook going into my interface, right, where all my mics and my guitar is plugged into my preamp. My preamp's also plugged into the interface.
Okay.
So this interface is going into the looper.
So does that other interface run into the looper at all?
The one from the MacBook goes right into my looper and then out into another interface into my PC.
Oh, okay. All right. I understand. That's a lot of rerouting, but I understand why. Because the streaming... Oh my goodness. Hello, Cartoon Mind. Welcome to the
You guys know Tom?
Krista. Yeah, they've been around before. I know I'm
Tom
following them.
Tom designed the logo that you're wearing right now.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Nice.
I'm
Yep.
wearing your art, and so is Trish. She's just not on the screen, but she's she's popping into the screen. We're wearing your artwork. Thank you for that. Thank you for the raid. We have a little bit more time with you. We started like at 10 after, so if you're okay for another 10 minutes or so, or like another, you know what I
I'm
mean.
good.
Believe it or not, almost
Please,
50 minutes has passed. Believe it or
Wow,
not.
really?
I know. Inching closer to 5K. I know. Thank you all so much for your follows today. I haven't caught a lot of them since we've been chatting, but Sultan and Spence, I think those are the two that I've missed. And Geronimo, thank you so much for your follow as well. And thank you, Cartoon Mind, for bringing your friends here. And we were actually just gear nerding out, to be honest. Like, we were talking about mental health, which honestly, like, there's a segue here. Sometimes when your shit's not working mentally, it fries you. Like, there are some times when you sit down to do a stream and your shit's not working and you're like, is this even fucking worth it? Like, is this even like, I don't remember. I think Fen rated you. This was a couple months back. Fen rated you and you were having the worst time of your life. And we're all trying to help you in this chat and you're not even on the screen. You're just talking to us and you sounded like a robot and you're like, I don't know why. Like, and you're like, please help me. I'm like, I wish that I could. I don't know what's happening. But I also knew.
Was really weird.
Yeah, I also knew you were running a DAW and also a bunch of other things that I don't run. And that's why I'm like, I don't know how helpful I'll be, But it's honestly, when your shit don't work, like I learned real quick that you need to have a good ass computer. A good ass top notch piece of equipment to stream. And did you start streaming with Wi-Fi or did somebody tell you not to do that first?
I started streaming with Wi-Fi on my MacBook, and I was wondering, my stream would just drop all the time.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm sorry guys, I don't know why this is dropping. I was never plugged in to begin with to the Ethernet or whatever.
Yeah,
I was never plugged in, so I was just like, let's raise money for a PC. And so I finally, like, after it just constantly, like, my stream was just constant drop.
Same.
It was terrible. Finally got a PC and plugged it right into the Ethernet. And even still, like, internet connection issues, how fast your internet goes.
Yeah.
If your instrument cables are next to your extension cords. That's what happened that one day, by the way.
It was
Just
interference.
like, it was interference. I was like,
yeah. And you were like, I think it's just because all my cables are in a giant knot. I'm like, oh,
they were. It's terrible. I'm looking at it now. I'm like,
it's hard because if you move one thing, everything becomes a knot, and then you gotta wait until maybe you dust or clean to kind of fix it. We deal with the same shit. Cable management is an absolute bitch. It's and I don't know.
It's a bitch.
Yeah, like I totally started streaming with Wi-Fi also, but here's the thing. I did, and everybody was like, "Don't do it," and I did it anyway. And here's the thing is though, we started streaming on my phone with no audio. It was just, well, I mean, I had audio, no interface, no direct audio. So I just put a phone in front of the couch and I brought this keyboard downstairs. It actually has speakers. Not every keyboard has speakers, but this one does. And I set it down and I literally just sang acoustically. And this was literally when lockdown happened here in Michigan. And we were one of the first states to really go full lockdown. So this was probably literally April 2020. And and the people in my stream were the people who would have been at my shows anyway. So they were just happy. Like, I didn't know what I didn't know. Like, I literally did not have an interface. It's so stupid. I just used my voice and the speakers on the keyboard, and I actually never dropped stream, and it's because the phone was next to the router. And then when I realized here's where it went wrong is that I got an interface and then I was like, well, I'm gonna move upstairs because it wasn't a permanent setup. It was on the couch downstairs. I had to just keep tearing it down and setting it up every time I streamed, which was dreadful.
Yep.
That shit is dreadful. It makes you not want to stream.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I need a space. I need my own streamer desk space. And so I kind of started putting that together, but I moved upstairs because that's where our bedrooms are. And I learned that there is so much metal in the construction of our walls that were built in the 40s that the Wi-Fi doesn't exist in this room.
Oh, shoot.
The Wi-Fi actually almost literally doesn't exist in this room. And so I went from actually not having any drops to it was like you. It was constant. And I was like, I don't understand. It worked before and now my audio's better. So what's happening? And it was just I had to upgrade and I bought this computer. She's still kicking and yeah. I mean, I bought an Alienware because I wanted a game and I wanted to, I started streaming.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I started streaming games too. Do you still stream games, by the way?
Cool. I do. Yeah, I do. I do. I'm having a lot of fun with Apex right now. So it's like,
nice.
I suck. Okay. Like I'm terrible. Don't tell anybody in my chat. I always say like, I'm carrying these people and these people rely on me to win these games, shit like that. But like, Yoke.
That's funny.
What's up, Yoke?
What's funny is I could watch somebody play Apex all day and not know a fucking thing that just happened. It's hard for me to read. My brain doesn't work with shooters. Does that make sense?
Mine's not working with shooters either, but like I do it anyway because it's like fun and people get mad at me for like doing dumb shit. But it's fun. Like I love it.
Yeah, Geronimo
really
needs some
fun.
Apex tip. Like legit needs some Apex tips. Beta might have some good Apex tips too. Honestly, Erase Beta is.
I've been playing. I did play with Beta a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know how much she's been playing lately, but
just sounds like Sandbagger versus Sandbagger at that point.
I will.
She's
say,
a pro. She's
yeah.
like a pro too. I think she's like level. I don't even know what level she's at, but she's like high up there.
Yeah, no, she's like actually good. I only know her as like I know her whole journey did start with FPS games like that, and then I met her when she was kind of on a DBD kick and more into horror. But so when I learned that she was actually good at Apex, I'm like, who the fuck? How? Doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess she is. I literally wouldn't know. I can watch somebody play Apex and have literally no idea what's happening. Same with like Valorant, anything like that. I have no clue what's going on. I will say I had a hoot.
Experience.
I had a hoot playing First Class Trouble with you,
dude,
and all the people who
that
played
is
with.
Yeah.
I used to hate it.
It's one of my all-time favorite games. All-time favorite games to play, especially with like streamer friends.
Yeah,
I think that we should like get some people together. Kyger played with us one time, which was hilarious because everyone was just being mean to her and she was like, I don't get it. And you could just like feel her like getting upset. And I was like, it's okay.
That was
like,
me. No. Yes. No. Listen, I don't know if you've heard Beta tell the story, but that was me. I felt so victimized by that fucking game. The first couple times I played, I felt really victimized. I couldn't grasp that I was supposed to be a troll. You have to be a troll in that game.
You have to.
There's just nothing else. You have to lie. And when you realize that like this is so far out of your comfort zone, like for you, it was like you're a troll. So like you're naturally very good at it. You and Beta are both trolls and you're naturally very good at the game. Whereas Kyger is more like me in that way. And I was victimized. I was like upset.
Excuse me, ma'am. You could have fooled me.
That's because
one time.
That was not my first time playing. You were not there the first time I played First Class Trouble.
So hard that one time. I was like, you were like, oh, what are we supposed to do? Oh, this means I'm like giving you tips, inside tips.
But that it only works.
I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, but that's why I took the opportunity to lie to you, because it only works if somebody doesn't know that you don't know or that you do know the game. And then once those people know, the jig's up and now everybody's sus all the time. So
Yeah.
it only worked because you didn't know that I knew how to play the game.
Right.
And I had to
It's a
get through
great
some
icebreaker
It
for
is.
friends, I feel like.
It is. If you can be a good sport. For me, I'm not the best sport. I'm not. I'm just not. If I'm losing and I'm not in a really, really good mood, I'm a fucking terrible sport. I just am. I'm surprisingly amazing. I don't know. I was not. And hi, welcome in, Peter. And I just wanted everybody to know I have been reading all of the chat. I promise. But doing a podcast style segment is different. You know, it's hard to keep the conversation going and also kind of pay attention to the chat and read everything. But I am reading it silently. I haven't missed any of you, Erin, Nix. So yeah, we've covered a lot of bases here on this day. And so I don't. Speaking of boundaries, I'm hearing Kiger in my head. We're coming up on an hour. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you also so much for these hats.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I'm actually just really sad that it's now going to be summer because
It's not stopping me none.
No, Trish wears beanies constantly.
And then complaining about being really hot. So, you know.
How many points did you get for that? Oh yeah, 100 or 200. That is one of the things too. How many points? Yeah, for the doorway thing. That I actually didn't learn. If I asked you about that, that was actually me legitimately asking. Because I didn't know about that until recently. But what I was going to say was we're coming up on an hour. I appreciate your time so much. So do you have any like closing arguments, closing thoughts? Like, do you have any special events coming up on our channel? And I know you were mentioning some new music coming out. What is the next thing happening for Krista?
And you threatened us with questions, and I'm still nervous about that.
I know. I didn't want to interrupt Erin on her channel, so like
Whatever.
I can always ask questions to you guys later.
Whatever.
But
whatever.
So coming up, I do have a single which the Twitch community paid for, which was awesome.
That is awesome.
We also have some new band music coming up, which it's all been written, but we have to like go in and record it, re-record it.
Yeah.
Mix and master, things like that. And then I'll just be doing my thing on Twitch, trying to add new things. I'm trying to add new sounds. Yeah, that's all I got going on, really. But I want to take this moment to thank you for being such an inspiration to me as a starting Twitch streamer.
Aww.
And making me feel like I had a space to come to that was LGBTQ friendly, and also just like, you know, just shedding your light on all of us and encouraging us to do the same. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. And that's how this started. Was I just was like, I want to feature people who inspire me. So it's like no you inspire me. No you. It's the classic streamer no you fight. But it's true. I legitimately have a list of people, and I'm so glad because I know you usually work Fridays, and you were very diligent about telling me exactly when you were off on a fucking Friday. So thank you so much for that. And I hope everybody has used the dynamic follow button. If you haven't used it yet, it's only going to be there for a few more minutes. So if you don't want to navigate away, click that dynamic follow button on the screen. It'll light up when you hover over it. It says follow NixSounds. Maybe it doesn't light up. Trish just did it and it didn't light up. It's fine. It moves though. It like pops open. Click that follow. You will not be disappointed. And lastly, what is your stream schedule so people can expect when to see you next?
So my schedule. Why can't I talk? Schedule.
Streamers. We don't talk
stream well. Schedule. My stream schedule is usually on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays.
Okay.
I think I'm going to start adding Saturdays. Tomorrow, actually, I have the Together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
I have that thing going on.
Is it Together wherever or Together whenever?
I got confused. That's why I stopped myself. So.
Listen, I said the wrong, Krista. I was in the train saying the wrong thing with the graphic on my fucking screen, Krista. And I was saying the not the right word. So listen, you haven't done nearly as bad as me.
But I also announced it last Saturday because I thought last Saturday was it. So I was like, catch me today at blah, blah, blah. What time?
And they were like,
realized
no.
it was like next. Ben was like, Krista, I think that's next week. I was like, oh my God, you're right.
You would have just been, can we talk for a second about what that looks like? Like you would have just been streaming, waiting for a raid.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. I ended up streaming anyway because I was like,
Yeah.
well, might as well. And I just played some music and then I did some Apex, which was fun.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So you can expect to see Krista tomorrow. And what time? You are Pacific. So what time would you say?
I believe I go on at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. PST.
Yes. So
4
y'all.
p.m.
Yes. 4 p.m. our time Eastern. We are time traveling right now because it is only 3 o'clock for Krista, but it's dinner time for us. But again, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to begrudgingly let you off of the phone call.
Okay.
But as always, we'll be in touch, and just thank you for taking the time today. Honestly, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye,
you so
guys.
much.
Say bye, Krista. Talk soon. Bye.
Hey, bye.